Hello, everyone, and welcome to another weekly edition of VOC English News. I'm Elvin. Tonight, we'll bring you the top stories from Chinland and beyond that have made headlines this week. Here are the headlines. The Chin National Front warns that administrative measures imposed without the people's consent could only deepen divisions in the Spring Revolution. The junta-appointed Union Election Commission announces that elections will be held in all 9 townships of Chinland later this year, despite most of them being under resistant control. The Kachin Independence Organization, KIO, says its recent meeting with the Chin Brotherhood was a routine engagement, not a military or political negotiation. Civil society groups strongly reject the Arakan Army's move to designate Palawa as a district under Arakan administration. A new report reveals that junta airstrikes have killed at least 145 civilians in Chinland over the past 4 years. And Chin fighter Joshua Van makes it onto the nomination list for 2 categories at the 17th Annual War MMA Awards. Now let's take a closer look at the details. CNF on Palawa and local administration. The Chin National Front has cautioned that establishing administrative structures without the consent of local people goes against democratic principles and risks escalating conflict. CNF spokesperson Slang Tutney made the remarks after the Arakan Army announced on August 11th that Palawa Township, located southern Chinland, had been officially organized as a district under the United League of Arakans administration. He emphasized that governance should be based on people's participation and that any administration imposed without the will of the Palawa people would only fuel further divisions. Palawa was seized from junta forces in January 2024, and the AA has since exercised military and administrative control. However, several Chin civil society groups, including Chin Civil Movement, the Global Kumi Organization, and the Global Kumi Youth Association, have condemned the AA's actions, calling them colonial in nature and illegitimate. Elections announcement. On August 15th, the junta's Union Election Commission announced that elections will be held in all 9 townships of Chinland later this year. Currently, only Hakka and Tidim are under junta control, while the remaining 7 are administered by resistant forces. Under the plan, 9 constituencies for the state parliament will be contested under a mixed system of first past the post and proportional representation, while 12 seats in the national parliament will be divided equally between the 2 systems. Analysts and resistant groups say the announcement is unrealistic, noting that the military has no real authority in most areas of Chinland. They have also urged the public to boycott the junta-organized elections. KIO and Chin Brotherhood meeting. The Kachin Independence Organization, KIO, has clarified that its recent meeting with the Chin Brotherhood was not a political or military negotiation, but rather a routine engagement. KIA spokesperson Colonel Nobu stated that the discussions were general in nature. Meanwhile, Chin Brotherhood spokesperson Yoman explained that the meeting focused on strengthening ties and exploring future cooperation. KIO Deputy Commander-in-Chief General Gunmo also described the encounter as a significant first step in direct communication between the Chin and Kachin resistant movements. Civil society rejects AA's Palawa move. Since civil society organizations have strongly rejected the Arakan Army's designation of Palawa as a district of Rakhine State. Groups including the Chin Civil Movement, Global Kumi Organization, and Global Kumi Youth Association issued a joint statement condemning the move as a colonial act that ignores the will of the local people and violates historical Chinland boundaries. The statement accused the AA of undermining the spirit of the Pinlong Agreement and federal democratic principles, pointing out that since taking control of Palawa, the AA has committed several cases of killings and assault against civilians. The organization warned that no armed group or political body representing another ethnicity can legitimately impose administration over Chinland territory. Junta airstrikes in Chinland. The Chin Human Rights Organization reports that at least 145 civilians have been killed by junta airstrikes in Chinland since 2021 coup. The group's statement released on August 14th said the military carried out more than 960 airstrikes in the region over the past 4 years. Among the dead are 41 children and 37 women. An additional 313 people were injured. CHRO condemned the military's plan to hold elections later this year, calling it a bloody attempt to legitimize its crimes. You cannot kill people today and ask for their votes tomorrow, the organization stated. Joshua Van nominated for World MMA Awards. Chin fighter Joshua Van has been shortlisted for 2 categories at the prestigious 17th Annual World MMA Awards, organized by Fighter Only. He has been nominated for Breakthrough Fighter of the Year and Fight of the Year following his impressive knockout win against Brendan Royval at UFC 317 in June. The fight was already recognized as the fight of the month and hailed as one of the best bouts in the UFC season. Van, who currently holds 7 wins and 1 loss in the UFC, is expected to challenge Brazilian champion Alexandra Pantoja for the flyweight title later this year. And that wraps up this week's edition of VOC English News. Thank you for joining us. We'll be back next week with more updates from Chinland and around the world. I'm Alvin, and wishing you a good evening.